Hey everyone, I'm Quinn Pettifer with the Gazette, and you are watching another edition of Get to Know Gives Back. This is a chance for us to get to know our nonprofits that are part of our program called the Gazette Gives Back, which is an annual program giving over $500,000 in free advertising credit to our nonprofit community. This is an effort to raise awareness of the mission, the services that they provide to literally thousands of Eastern Iowans every single day. And this is a chance to dive in a little bit more and get to know the nonprofits and the mission and the work that they do. So I have Shalla with me with the Salvation Army. Hi, Shalla.
Hello, Quinn.
So I know Salvation Army is a heavily branded, obviously a heavily branded organization, but just in case someone is unaware, can you tell everybody the mission and the services that you provide?
So the mission of the Salvation Army in a nutshell is to help folks without discrimination to get those basic needs: food, shelter, safety, and through compassion and the word of Jesus Christ. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do.
The whole person, truly, I mean, all of those basic fundamental needs is so important to be successful. We've been doing a few of these interviews, and the common thread is you can't have one without the other to truly be your best self when it comes to some of those fundamental needs. So that's wonderful. I imagine that you and your team have had to do a lot of pivoting in the last year. So can you take us through some of those adjustments that you've been making through pandemic?
So we tend to serve in Lynn County about 40,000 people a year. And that service is through a variety of different programs. We have our free meal program, breakfast and lunch during the week. We have a mobile meal program that goes out on Saturday mornings and gives out breakfast and then a sack lunch. We have social services where we help with rent and utility assistance, food pantry. We have a program called Pathway of Hope where we work with families to get them out of the rut they might be in, whether it's a rut that is generational or a rut they just got in for their due to unforeseen circumstances. And that program doesn't just get them out, it helps teach them how to stay out. So somebody on staff might sit down with the family and say, okay, this is how you budget this paycheck to make it go farther. The kitchen might sit down and say, okay, you have a week's worth of chicken, this is how you can make 5 meals out of it. So that we use our expertise amongst the staff to help folks see how they can make everything stretch and work for their benefit. We have youth programs geared towards any youth, but we do tend to work closer with youth who are in lower income housing, homes, don't have, mom and dad are working constantly, and so we are a good place for the youth to come. And in the normal world, we do have senior programs too. So that leads into what we pivoted to. When COVID a year ago first started, we had to kind of reprioritize how we're doing things. We never shut down. We never stopped serving. Our volunteer program had to shut down for a while for social distance and safety. So we as a staff continued to serve all the meals. We could not allow indoor seating, so we took our mobile canteen, we have it in the parking lot, and we did takeaway meals for families. We still did rent and utility assistance. It just had to be done via the internet instead of coming in. Same thing with food pantry. Everything was done over the phone, and then we would pack up the food boxes and set them outside, and then the people would come and get them. And so we were very creative, working with guidelines set forth by our headquarters and by the CDC in how we continued to serve the community.
I'm just amazed. Never a day lost. Never a day lost.
No, never. We continued to serve. We actually had started to kind of come back to some sort of normalcy. We were back inside feeding with distancing. We have a large enough gym that we could move our tables apart. And then we got hit by the Derecho.
That was my next question.
So, we are an emergency disaster response program also. So we tend to go out and help with other emergencies, whether it be a large fire or other areas like when the Mississippi goes out of its banks in Davenport, we tend to go over there and help them. We were our own disaster here, so we immediately got ourselves back up and running. Luckily, we had staff who were very on the ball and got a generator so that we wouldn't lose any of our perishables. And we were out feeding the community that was hit. We tried to focus on the areas that were hit the hardest. It was hard because we were all hit by the next day. And we ourselves had damage. In fact, we're still dealing with the damage to our gym roof. The membrane was blown off, the air handlers were blown off, and so we are back feeding on the canteen. We've been on the canteen for quite a while now, and that's kind of how we've been. But we never stopped.
Just kept going and adjusted and enhanced services. And yours is a story that other nonprofits have shared with us, which is, not only are your teams dealing with, not only pandemic, but derecho, you're trying to pivot, you're trying to expand and get creative on your services, and then taking it to another level of needing to be there for the community. It's mind blowing, all with physical damage and roof. And well, so tell me how, in terms of fundraising, in terms of, creating, getting the volunteer pool back, are you starting to bring volunteers back into the mix?
We have. Our volunteers have been back since before Derecho, to be honest. We have them back helping us out. The volunteers have been fantastic at pivoting with us because they are serving off a canteen, and they're having to take the food outside once it's cooked, and so it's been a little change for them too. It's not the norm. So they have been wonderful, and we could not, do this without the volunteers. When we had to suspend our volunteer program, it was really tough. I was out on the canteen every morning serving breakfast, and then I come in and do my regular job. So, but the Salvation Army is here for our community, and that's, as individual staff members, we know that, and that's why we're here doing what we do. Mm-hmm. Our fundraising has been really a fantastic blessing this year. I think our community, Lynn County, Cedar Rapids, has always been very supportive of those in need, and our Christmas campaign went extremely well. We were worried about that, but has done very well.
The bell ringers kept going, right?
They did.
Masks on and everything.
It is. And really, we did not have that many who felt they couldn't bell ring. And most of the ones that didn't were health concerns.
Right.
And we've been able to take part in some of the state grants that have been offered so that we can help continue doing what we're doing. And we are working with other agencies to help folks recover from Derecho, because even though it'll be a year in August, there's a lot of recovery that still needs to go on in this community.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are far from over, and may never be over, that people take out the word new normal. I was in a conversation last night where I'm like, let's just call it like a reset, right? I mean, nothing's ever going to be normal again. Let's just face it. Was it ever? Well, Shalla, thank you for sharing just how your team has been just persevering. It's great to hear that the volunteers are still coming in strong. For people that would like to support or volunteer, whatever the contribution may be, what's the best way to reach you and your team?
So for volunteering or supporting us, you can either give us a call at 319-364-9131, and we'll help you figure out kind of what direction to point you. You can also go to our website at sacedarrapids.org, and we are on Facebook. And that is also for anybody who might need assistance. One of the things we saw a drastic change in this year is people who needed assistance who never thought they'd ever need assistance from an organization like us because of COVID, because of Derecho. And so, we are here and we will help you figure out what we can do. And if we can't figure it out, we're usually pretty good at pointing you in the right direction.
It's a collaborative nature of the nonprofit community that we're so proud to serve. So thank you so much. Thank you, Shalla. Really appreciate you taking time. I know schedules are hectic, and we appreciate the work that you're doing. We're really proud that Salvation Army is a part of the Gazette Gives Back. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Quinn.
And thanks to our viewers for checking out another edition of Get to Know Gives Back. To learn more about the Salvation Army, as well as all of our nonprofit organizations that are part of the program this year, you can head over to thegazette.com/givesback. And thanks to our sponsors, Collins Community Credit Union, for sponsoring this series, as well as our entire program. I'm Quinn Pettifer, and we'll see you next time.